Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Queen Bean Tarot. My name is Jess and I have a message for someone. So today I am using the Star Codes Astro Oracle to get some information, an initial message for someone specific, someone who needs to hear something important, something very important. So retrograde review number 15. 15 could be an important number to you. You could be born on a 15th. 15 could just be your favorite. 1 and 5 equals 6 could be related to the 6th house for you. I believe, isn't the 6th house like romance or something? Let me double check. I think the houses are all here. Oh, it's about sustainability. So how you make your money and daily habits, work environment, pets, and mind-body connection, as well as health. That might be relevant. But typically your retrograde, so retrograde, I know retrograde is when it's when the planets are moving, but the way they are moving looks like they're moving in reverse. So let me read this. Retrograde gets a bad rap, especially Mercury retrograde, but the retrograde cycle is truly a helpful and necessary time. It's nothing to worry about, just something to work with. A planet is in retrograde when it appears to reverse the direction of its journey across the sky from our perspective here on Earth. As that planet revisits its path, you get to review your life. Okay, so it looks like it's going, like it's backtracking, like it's going over its previous steps. Maybe you're looking back at choices, or I think we all do that. We all go, oh, if only I knew. Oh, if I knew what I knew. Sorry, I live like right on a highway. If only I knew then what I know now, I would have made different decisions. It can be troublesome because sometimes we find it harder to move forward if we look too far back or we get too stuck in it. But it is actually a good time to think about things, to look back. Maybe, especially we're like getting up to the end of this year and the start of next year, so when we get to the end of a year, we sort of review. We do a yearly review. I think everyone does that. Like, you'll have a review on the music you listen to on Spotify, you'll have a review on the most amount watched videos, you'll have a review on Facebook, you'll have a review on your memories for the year on like Insta and stuff. There is reviews for everything. And 2 more cards just fell out. I wasn't planning on doing this many cards, but they did come out. So we have, I'm just hoping, can I fit these in a little bit better? Can you see them? Yes, you can. Oh, that worked out. Okay. So we have Mercury messages. There's also Mercury retrograde, so that's very, very funny that it actually came out together. Mercury is the first planet of the entire solar system. It is the hottest planet. It is the closest to the sun, and it revolves on its it turns, like, it goes around the sun way more times than what we do go around the sun. So it would probably experience way more years, so its year would probably be much quicker. It happens more often. Mercury retrogrades do also cause a bit of miscommunication and a lot of issues with technology. I tend to find it comes in threes, especially when it comes to technologies and stuff. There is also the 8th house mystery. So I'm going to read these to you. Messages. Mercury. Mercury symbolizes your mental switchboard, how you think, communicate, and move through the world. The smallest planet rules Gemini and Virgo and is closest to the sun, completing its orbit in about 88 Earth days. So every 88 days is a year on Mercury. Because it orbits so close, it can only be found in the same sign as the Sun, the one before it, or one after it. Mercury has a large, dense, molten core, and one day on the planet takes 58 Earth days. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year for 3 weeks, slowing time so you can remember, review, and reconnect. So, there's that one. And the 8th house mystery is, if your chart were a village map, the 8th house would be the corner of the red light district next to a mortuary and Avines and loan bank. It is a private house where we deal with things we don't talk about in public, such as sex, death, debts, loans, psychic phenomena. Here we deal with other people's resources and how they are exchanged, money, bodies, thoughts, and work, and how we inherit goods and attitudes. This house can feel uncomfortable, but it's a place where we can transform. Makes sense why there's a skull there. It's something we don't like to talk about or shine a light on, which does make a lot of sense when you think of, you know, like fetishes or about, you know, phenomena. A lot of people go, oh, I don't believe in that. And because there's so much negativity about like ghostly things and like, you know, spirit and talking to the dead and stuff like that, we don't really talk about it, we don't shine a light on it, and we sure as hell do not like to openly let everyone know in the community that we believe in ghosts, or we believe in, you know, this or the tooth fairy or that, or, you know, we believe the world is flat. Some people actually get personally offended if you say something that isn't typical for something, but it is the 8th house is extremely important when we are making lifelong commitments and connections, because like sex, for example, you only do that with someone you intend to be intimate with, and everyone has preferences, and that is very important to the individual. So one person might find this is their preference and the other person has an opposite preference. I mean, that's not going to work out. So it is important to talk about it to a certain degree depending on where you are in a relationship. And the fact that we have the Ace of Cups and then the Six of Cups, I feel like we probably have a lot of emotions coming up, or someone's asking you out, someone you know from the past, someone you've probably grown up with, someone you're very close to, someone you've known for many, many years is most likely gonna ask you out, or has something to offer you, something that brings you emotions but also fulfillment. So we will see. These are getting really choppy for me. They don't want to be smooth. Let's see. Sorry if you hear a lot of noise. I live in a house of echoes. I swear, I should call this the house of echoes. You can't walk around, talk, do anything without people hearing it. So, like I said, you're gonna hear people. Please ignore them. So, if they get too loud, I'll pause. Still trying to get something out. Hello, I'm back. Sorry, my mum was going to bed. Going to bed pretty early. She has a lot of medical conditions. And, ooh, we had a lot pop out. They literally flipped out. You could probably hear that. We feel sort of stuck. We're feeling stuck, but we are persevering. This could be due to the Mercury retrograde, or we aren't able to see what's right in front of us. Again, a choice that we're not viewing, like we can't see it. I feel like perhaps there is something that comes up that is going to be affected because of the 8th house. Like you might be dating someone or reconnecting with someone that you've known for a long time. You might reconnect with an old friend, and then you've learned that you have grown up and you have become 100% totally opposite people to what you once were. And that has led to you, I think, feeling a little bit stuck and a bit shocked, like you don't want to view that, like, they're still my friend, but you didn't realize that they probably had something that you were personally really against. Like they support someone that you feel has attacked or affected your life choices. And they're like, oh, no, like, they're not bad. Or like, you know, they've changed so much as a person, you don't even recognize them. I feel like you're not gonna wanna face that, honestly. I think you persevere, you try to face things, you try to deal with some of these things. I think you try to face them head on, you try to fix the issues, but there's nothing you can fix. And you have to make a choice to either cut them off or to look the other way or to not bring it up anymore. I definitely feel like, I feel like it's in your nature to try and deal with things. It could also be that this is a massive miscommunication because we do have Mercury retrograde. And you're trying to keep what you've originally had and what you've started in the Knight of Cups. Yeah, you're trying to keep everything. I feel like you're the person who works on the relationship. You're like the glue that keeps everyone together, everything together. You're the Empress. You're very nurturing, you're very creative. You're trying to be open-minded and caring. You're trying to be supportive, but it is against your morals. I'm definitely getting that. The Ten of Pentacles does mean like abundance, family dynasty. You could have something, you might choose family over this person, or you talk to your family about it. And the Knight of Cups is about moving forward, having something that you feel an emotional connection to. You might get a message from this person. But yes, there seems to be, because of the 8th house being one of the main cards, I think you choose to move forward. You might get a message and move forward with an actual commitment. I think if this isn't, you know, a full out, I think perhaps you could be asked out, but you take it slow and have to consider everything. I think perhaps if the Empress is showing up, like, you guys align on a lot of other morals or a lot of other choices and decisions, and that is ultimately what helps you to choose to go forward. Like, you might both choose that you want to have a lot of kids and have a huge family, and you have the resources for it, and you have the family connection, and you have both your families backing you up. Even if there's like something like you both have different religions or something like that. But this is definitely someone that you've known from your past, or it could be that you look back and you reconnect with someone from your past, which it turns out to be a romantic partnership that you weren't expecting. I feel like it's going to be like, it is a very strong connection. Look how beautiful this bonsai tree is that's grown. And if you've ever tried, bonsai trees are so hard to grow. I've tried to grow them so many times. I don't know if it's our climate or something, but yeah, I think you might even bond over stuff in the 8th house. That could be originally what makes you guys see this in a romantic, like, you know, your friendship, like the connection you have, and put it into a romantic setting. Because it is about, you know, the things you don't typically talk about unless you're talking with someone you've known for quite a while. And if this is someone from your past, you might talk about, past relationships, or, the things that went wrong. And then you're finding there's patterns like, oh my God, yeah, I don't like that. And they did that. That's why I broke up with them. Like, oh my God, my partner also did that to me. And that's why I broke up with them, because I prefer this. And they go, oh my God, so do I. Like, and you're finding some like similar connections on stuff that you wouldn't talk about typically, like stuff from the 8th house. So it's very very interesting. I feel like perhaps reviewing things from the past and communication is actually how this all comes about. So I feel like going down memory lane and the way you're communicating and what you're communicating about feels like that's bringing it all together. However, because you're reviewing, it feels like it's a bit of a slow like get together, because I feel like once you get together, you cannot go back. Like, there's no way to return back to being friends. Anyway, that went a long way, didn't it? And I got really messy with the cards. Sorry, I know a lot of people put it out nice and neat, but I'm doing this from a different point of view, different perspective. I'm sitting on the side here and doing this so you can see it upright. Anyway, that's the reading I have for you. And on the very bottom, we have the Ace of Coins, so definitely go for it. It's going to be worth it. All right, my lovelies, that is actually the massive message I have for you. Let me know if it resonates. Please like, share, comment. I'd really appreciate it to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. I'm leaving you with lots of love, light, and positive vibes, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.